If you had to define marriage, right? Because we're talking about this thing called marriage, what words would you use? And what makes marriage different from any other human relationship?
So how I would define marriage, what words would I use? It's cliche, obviously, but every time I think about marriage, I obviously, like many of you who are believers out there, I think of 1 Corinthians chapter 13.
Yeah.
Love is patient,
Yeah.
love is kind. It's not puffed up.
Right.
It
It
it's
keeps
not
no record of
proud. It
wrongdoing.
keeps no record of wrongdoing. I like how
Yes.
you came up with that one first. We'll talk about that later. But no, when I think about marriage, all of those words, that scripture would be specific, specifically what I think describes it. It's also, the union between a man and a woman for which they forsake all other relationships, and sometimes that's the problem. We let other relationships start getting into our relationships, whether it's, initially it might be your moms and dad.
Talk about it.
They got something to say about it. It could be the children.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you have children, your marriage becomes all about the children and you forget each other. We talk about how we see people eating all the time. They don't know each other. The empty nesters, like that's when they get a divorce because they realize they have nothing in common anymore now that the children are gone and all of those sorts of things. So it's a unique relationship because it literally is a covenant.
Right.
So other relationships that you have are not covenantal. You don't have you don't have anything else that can even compare to that.
Yeah.
A marriage, it has to have God in it.
Yeah.
For it to truly last and for it to work.
That's good. That's good.
So,
Well, and to your point, I think when I think of marriage, one of the words that comes to mind is covenant, right? Covenant with not only us individually, but also the covenant that we make unto the Lord, right?
Yeah.
So I say that in that it's bigger than even just us, right? There's a purpose that comes from Him putting us together, because obviously it's Him who does the putting together, right?
Which interestingly, Megan in June,
talk about
on
it,
their 9th anniversary, she called Devon her purpose partner. Her purpose
partner. Interesting.
So it's about purpose, like you said.
Interesting. It's all very interesting when we look at it, right? At the end of the day, I look at marriages right now, and in the U.S., our divorce rate is upwards around 50%. That's Christians and non-Christians alike. That means like almost half of the marriages, almost half of the people who are getting married, who at one time loved each other, like loved each other to the point to where they decided to even get married. Half of those marriages are ending in divorce, and I'm just being honest. That hurts.
Yeah.
Because I truly don't believe that when we get together that it's supposed to end that way. Now obviously, let's just be real. There are situations, there are reasons, and those things happen. You know what I'm saying? And they happen. Should they happen? They shouldn't, but sometimes they do. I'm sitting here looking, and Laura has something. I'm trying to see if I can add this.
She said they can 100% work.
Let me add it. There it is right here. And y'all see it. It's a long one.
50 years.
It's a long one, but I'm going to put it up here. Marriage can 100% work. My parents are celebrating 50 years together. Awesome. Yeah, we need to clap for that. We need to clap for that.
The Wares.
Yeah, I've never even seen them argue. However, in certain marriages, it absolutely does not work. No matter how hard you work effort-wise, that particular marriage will not work. I became so much stronger in my faith during and since a very traumatic divorce. I now have a 10-year relationship that will likely... Hold on. I now have a 10-year relationship that will likely not result in marriage. That divorce trauma has left me scarred enough.
It is trauma.
Yep. That I've adopted it isn't broken, not going to try to fix it approach. we're both believers and active in church. The Franklins are putting the most positive public spin possible on one of the most difficult situations you could ever
That's
face.
what I think.
That's it.
I just think they're, it's somewhat of a sugarcoat, not trying to throw anybody under the bus. I completely respect that, totally. And Laura, shouts out to your parents for 50 years. I mean, for Philip and I, like, that's what we know. Our parents are together. Our parents both were high school sweethearts. So, it does last. I don't know if it always works. There's a difference between something lasting.
This is true.
That old beat up Chevy pickup truck
this is true.
in the yard. It's lasting, bro. It's a little rusty. It's got 3 hubcaps and 4 wheels.
That's right.
It don't always work. Every now and again it needs a little jump start. But I will say they don't make them like they used to. And honestly, to that, I just want to say we have created such a culture. It started out with the microwave generation. The drive-through. Then it turned to the disposable kind of, everything, you use it and you get rid of it. And then we realized the error of our ways when landfills were starting to fill up and, climate change was happening and all these sorts of things. And then we're now in this phase where we're in the cancel culture. We're just going to cancel it. You're fired. We're just done. And so I think there's just this certain mentality that we have. And, with our overexposure of things, just needing constant input now in humanity because of social media and all of that, which started with the microwave generation. I just think sometimes we are too diva-ish. We are way too needy. We are, we just require too much and we demand too much instead of just enjoying the simplicities of life. And seeing beyond the moment. When things don't go our way, we act a certain way. Just cancel it. I'm done.
Well, and I think you spoke about something in that, we're in this cancel culture right now, and people are so ready and quick to just be like, just forget it, just bump it. You know what I'm saying? You got one more time. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to being able to work through with things. So
and let me take it a step further because I saw LaTrinka, she put social media. Studies show social media is impacting the bedroom.
You almost made me spit out my little drink.
I mean, it is impacting the bedroom. People spend more time than, let's get it on. Like they're scrolling instead of going. I mean, you've got to set healthy limits. You've got to have healthy boundaries. But social media is taking the place of intimacy. And we're looking for our likes and our affirmation from, emojis, from hearts and all this stuff rather than being affirmed by sharing our strengths with someone else. And that's very affirming when I can lend you something in your time of need. I mean, to be honest, like that does it more for me than some random person liking my picture, on Facebook.
I didn't know what you was getting ready to say right there, babe. But it's all good. I was like, I'm joking now. I'm joking.
Since I've been back in school, I've spent less time on social media. And to be honest, it's really very liberating. And I understand there's a good purpose and use for it as an evangelistic tool, but we also have to be very careful about, what impact is it having on your marriage.
That's right. That's right.
Edge life, you're too close to the ledge. We gon' push you forward a few steps ahead. It's that edge life. Oh, gotta get it in your head, baby. Welcome to the edge life. You're too close to the ledge. We gon' push you forward a few steps ahead. It's that edge life. Oh.